Caitlin Clark shattering everything in her path is enough to give a rookie a run for their Rookie of the Year title. There should be no competition. A'ja Wilson has been proven over and over again as the league MVP. Like the sun and solar system has gravity, Wilson has been one of the forces to reckon within WNBA for the longest of times now. Her leadership, skill in scoring, and overshadowing defensive skills have ensured that she is always talked about in most of the MVP rankings throughout the years. This is, however, changing, with Caitlin Clark stepping into the league with a bang. She is not just collating the stats in her favor, but rather doing something many predict was impossible for a rookie: breaking records. What is rather remarkable in Clark's case is that she managed to get into the contention without biasing too much on just scoring or just assisting, managing to lead the team in all three aspects. Buckingham with the uncanny of overpowering Wilson in both defensive works and the offensive end. This cannot be said of Clark. She has taken the weak Indiana Fever team that was before her here and made them contenders for the playoffs. That is not child's play, and that does not only signal an improvement in Clark's performance, but also in the performance of fellow players on the team. The face-off Clark versus Wilson is one of those few that generates excitement in the WNBA like no other rivalry has ever done. The fans enjoy the prospect of Clark being a rookie and getting to duel with Wilson, a decorated player, for the greatest prize in the league. This is the story of the old regime and the rising one, and incrementally with every match, Clark draws nearer to being crowned an MVP. The fact remains, whether she manages to clinch a trophy this season or not, Caitlin Clark has come here, and she is instantly building a case to be WNBA's next MVP. Another element of Caitlin Clark's gameplay that is subject to many discussions is her outstanding ability to look of the court and make plays, oft compared to that of LeBron James. This is not a comparison that is simply thrown around. LeBron is probably the best playmaker in basketball all round. To be just on the same line as LeBron, one has to be similarly adept on court as him in playmaking, and for Clark, such a compliment speaks volumes about her exceptional court vision and impeccable delivery of the ball to where it's needed. Clark's pinpointing abilities go beyond mere showboating. They are rather effective. In comparison to other players, her skills at swarming the shooting impulse allows her to be the league's best passer, as she currently leads in assists NBA. Be it making a precision pass against defensive pressure or a lopsided alley-oop, passing is one of the aspects of Clark that has significantly aided her team in clinching victories. In addition to this, even her shorter stature enables her to scan the court and predict the whereabouts of her teammates in ways that other players, however seasoned they are, cannot. However, this should not be assumed to mean that Clark is strictly a passer, because she is more than that. Where scoring is concerned, a shot creator is a playmaker, and she is just as potent. She is capable of creating her shot, of driving to the hoop, or of shooting off the dribble three-point shots. It is in this dual threat ability that makes her one of the most well-rounded players in the league, which is the reason why her name stand even with the likes of LeBron James. True, she does not share the same measurement stature of LeBron James, but given the same intelligence and administration skills on the court, she is still a nightmare for any defensive team. With Clark, it's all about winning, making sure she breaks more records, with playmaking still being the major talking point. Everyone is looking forward to the new developments in her style, and if she will be able to replicate this throughout her career for fans, media, and of course Caitlin Clark herself, the astronomical progression to some sort of stardom so many were waiting for has to come at some point in the story. However, not all WNBA players have fallen for the Caitlin Clark fever. Some veteran players have openly expressed their irritation, feeling like there's a bandwagon where Clark is receiving all the accolades instead of sharing some with them. Rivalry between the veterans and the up-and-comers is not new, especially in this case. However, it is still worth the mention. Cheryl Swoops and other veterans have outspoken criticism of Clark, and some fans and analysts have raised eyebrows at their pronouncements. Ms. Swoops, a WNBA icon, has not been spared in her doubting of why Caitlin Clark's fame is rising so fast and oodles of attention is drawn to her. In some veterans' cases, Clark is cutting corners and press skip on the several years' worth of effort which helped to construct their particular legacy, and she has not gone down well with them. This particular criticism addresses broader tensions in the WNBA, as the famous players at times feel the weight of younger competition. Nevertheless, Clark has not allowed this controversy to impact her playing quality. She stays on top and, in a way, entertains her detractors by winning matches on the court. In a way, such insults are flattering in their mannerism muddy pouring. However, is it still a valid question? Is this criticism simply triggered because of recent events Clark's success? Or does this indicate a much deeper feud among past and future icons of WNBA? The differences between Clark and the older players expose a generation gap in women's basketball. Although the league was established by the elder players, now players such as Clark are taking it to a whole new level. This push-pull dynamic is bringing about some bit of tension, but it is also bringing the league in a forward direction. The longer Clark records more achievements and greater standards are reached chasing rookie status, the more the older players will have to make a choice between wholesome acceptance of her achievements or racism toward the backward components of the WNBA. Caitlin Clark is active on and off the court, and the WNBA has been affected by this as well. In fact, since she joined the league has seen an increase in ticket sales and viewership. People are gonna watch her play, and the networks are benefiting from high ratings. In a number of ways, she has become a marketing star, helping not only herself, but the WNBA too. There are numbers that demonstrate this. The audience of Indiana Fever home games has increased since last season, while the ratings of nationwide broadcasts with Clark will soon be up to those of some shots of the NBA games. And this is quite logical given the recent popularity that this player has gained. With her scoring, passing, or just leading the team, they are all great reasons for why people supports this player. What is most striking is that Clark is now also crafting how the fans of the WNBA will be marketed. They are also beginning to put attention on this courtside star, and her likenesses and names are already being worn by the fans. This is the thing that the WNBA has been longing for in terms of marketability, and Clark is giving them that. Her name is known for success, and brands are all over seeking for such success. What's more impressive about Clark is that all this is being achieved by her as a rookie. Her marketability is so impressive, it's almost starting a new herald of a change in the WNBA gameplay itself. With each accomplishment Clyde achieves, whether in terms of breaking records or winning championships, he will only enhance the fame that the league enjoys at present. Caitlin Clark is not only influencing what happens on the court, but she is also influencing how WNBA is regarded by the fans, the sponsors, and the media. The rivalry formed by Caitlin Clark and A'ja Wilson is poised to develop into one of the most captivating narratives in the history of WNBA. Clyde and Caitlin are both in their prime, and their contest for the MVP title has already commenced and is on steroids. Wilson is the reigning MVP and a superstar with years of accolades in her public up to now. Clark, on the other hand, is the rookie. A rookie with a very powerful game who is hopeful in overthrowing the existing order in WNBA. Why is this rivalry intriguing? It is because of the two players' differences that Wilson is a dependable player and a leader who is as consistent as day and night, whereas Clark is the new kid on the block who enjoys making records. Their matches against each other are no less than blockbuster scenarios that invite and excite the fans and analysts on who shall come up top. This healthy competition is intensive for both these players and is enhancing the whole league in the consequences. People are coming out to watch Wilson Clark, and their shows are sparking the league. That is the type of rivalry that WNBA looks for to help in development and getting new followers. As the season goes on, so will the competition between Clark and Wilson for the MVP crown. Both have been putting their best cases forward for some great individual accolades, and together this rivalry is making both players great. The question now is whether Clark is finally able to take the MVP title away from Wilson, but it is definitely not in doubt. This rivalry is good for the league and vice versa.